folks, this is all the fruit, and high above the area known as Conca d'Africa or the Basin of Africa. No, we are not in Africa here. We are at the northernmost, more or less at the northernmost end of the Mediterranean, at the same geographical latitude as southern Canada. And yet I am here to visit an outdoors Cherimoya plantation and an almost outdoors mango, egg fruit, papaya, and lots of other rare subtropical fruits plantation. Those are the greenhouses of Mr. Fazio, or better of Mr. Fazio's father, who Mr. Fazio took over. Well, here, the Conca d'Africa, I said, we are at the same geographical latitude as southern Canada. Not only this, we are in the foothills of the Alps. Have you ever heard of alpine climate? It was coined by the climate of those mountains. Snow, ice, frost, a lot of areas of eternal snow at glaciers, a tree line, vast Nordic conifer forests. Yeah, all this basically the idea about this and the idea about alpine climate comes from those mountains here. However, the foothills of those mountains and the Mediterranean are a great combination. I'll show you a little bit later, because from further up we can see that much better. For now, here he is. I found him. Well, those are the greenhouses of Fazio's father. He was the first person in Italy to grow orchids on a commercial scale. The whole region here, well, the greater region is called the Riviera, the coastline of the province, the coastline of the region of Liguria. But this part of the Riviera is called the Riviera dei Fiori, the flower Riviera, because whenever you buy a bouquet of flowers in winter for a marriage or for a beautiful woman or something like this, there is quite a good chance it's coming from this part of Europe, from the flower Riviera. Actually, a lot of the cultivation of flowers has originated here. While there are lots of greenhouses in the few flat areas of this coastline, a lot of greenhouses are clinging to the cliffs in the whole area, because people here were always very poor and very hard working, and every piece of land, no matter how vertical it is, was good for agriculture. Starting here beneath the greenhouses is a row of Suriname cherry, and they're producing outdoors without any protection, but the incredibly mild regional climate and local microclimate in the Conca d'Africa. Let's walk down a little bit. Here you can see a couple plants, and especially this one in the middle is covered with tasty little fruits, Suriname cherry. So this stuff is coming from more or less equatorial South America. So Fazio's father erected those greenhouses here on the steep slopes. He was the first gardener to grow orchids commercially in Italy. And as you can see, the greenhouses have all the infrastructure for flower cultivation, not for fruit tree cultivation. Later, unfortunately, his father died and the greenhouses got abandoned. Here the lentisk or mastix, a local Mediterranean pistachio species, has taken over this one. But he said this year he wants to clear this one and plant a couple more tropical trees. So Mr. Fazio is sort of a local celebrity, not just a local. Even his father was visited by the Italian president, who made him a hero of labor because of his contribution to the Italian floriculture or flower culture. And Fazio also gets visits from important people all the time, because he's growing mangoes and other tropical fruits at the same geographical latitude as southern Canada. Here, he is growing them in a greenhouse, but it's not a completely enclosed greenhouse. He just cleaned out the greenhouses, but there are still lots of holes in the ceiling, so it's not really a closed greenhouse, but basically quite a quite a semi-outdoorsy area. He has so many different mango varieties. Come si chiama?
This is the Austin variety.
This is Austin, probably my favorite mango. It's grown a lot in southern Spain. It's basically a European variety. It comes also in German supermarkets every autumn for a couple weeks. But amazing that you can grow it here in the foothills of the Alps. And it's producing quite a lot of fruits. Those will become really big. Austin is quite a big variety. The next one we have a guava. Also, I think I'm used
The pink one.
this is the pink guava. I'm used to seeing those in the Canary Islands and even in southern Spain, but up here, it's quite amazing. The guava would probably also grow outside, but of course it's producing better in here.
Yeah. This is the dashiri.
Dachiri, this was from India.
From India, yes.
Yellow
Uh,
or green.
the skin is green.
So Dachiri, an Indian variety with green skin. I've noticed that mango collectors here in this area don't limit themselves to the European mangoes, but also get like more tropical and subtropical things from India, Thailand, Indonesia, and so on. This looks almost like another Austin, but I think it's different.
Tommy Atkins.
This is a Tommy Atkins. What happens to those fruits? Not pollinated?
It's normal. It's normal when they change the season that many mangoes go down because the trees are very little and they cannot support a lot of ones. You see?
Yes, very little trees and a lot of fruits.
Yes.
So sad. I'm sad about every mango that's lost, but okay. Already smelling?
No.
Troppo piccolo.
Sì.
Pity. No use to even try to eat it. Sometimes I try to eat fruit which are shed prematurely, but sometimes it's not worth the trouble.
This is the kit, mango kit.
Kit. Oh, and why did it drop some of the bigger fruits?
Yes, you see?
We were here last week and there were no fruits on the ground. So those also
They are big.
too many. Oh, that's so sad. There were so many fruits and yeah, I mean, if it's somewhere in the tropics and you have mango trees everywhere, it's not such a big tragedy. But here, I'm sad for every single mango. Unfortunately, I'm not here in the mango season, so no mangoes to try. But still, even despite this, I'm really sad for every mango he is losing here. Here he has a guanabana or soursop. I think, yeah, we saw a couple of the beautiful flowers last week. Here is one. The fruits are quite popular, Annona muricata, but also the leaves are used as a cancer remedy.
You see, they are open in the same time, so I cannot pollinate
Oh,
because they are in the same time.
so they have the female at the same time and the male at the
Yeah,
same
I
time.
hope this is one day before, so I can pollinate this one.
He needs them to open at a different time because first the male develops, then the female, or the other way around?
Before is female.
So first female, then male. So he needs them at least one day apart so he can pollinate them. By the way, here you can see the ground is littered with old pots from the orchid cultivation. Oh, and look at at this beautiful one. This is over 3 meters tall. What variety is this?
Kensington Pride.
Kensington Pride. Beautiful. Nice. Nice big tree. How many years is this one?
10 years.
10 years. Okay. And the small?
8 years.
And the small ones here?
No, it's the same.
Ah.
Same age.
Same, but some are doing better.
Yes.
And some not so good.
This was sick. It catch a cryptogamic.
Cryptogamic parasite.
Parasite. So,
Okay.
it's little. It's the Kent.
This is Kent, yeah, the typical short fruits that you find in every German supermarket throughout the year. However, here he can ripen them properly. In German supermarkets, usually they arrive completely unripe. Kent is a very good variety, but if you harvest them in America completely unripe and ship them for weeks and months to Germany, of course, they will not be in their prime. Oh yeah, last week I didn't see a single fruit which was shed, and now a lot.
Irvin.
This is Irvin, so here he has more or less a lot of standard varieties and a couple really rare varieties, but up here at the same geographical latitude, this little one is already smelling. Here at the same geographical latitude as southern Canada, all of them are rare. Can I try this one here?
Yes, of course.
Grazie. Let's see, maybe there is even something tasty in here.
No, it's not good sweet.
It's not sweet, it's sour, but it's a mango. Yeah, of course, not very good, but what to expect from such a small, half-rotten one? After the hot Mediterranean summer, the other fruits will be incredibly good. And here, this one you said was what? Kasturi? So this is a different mango species actually. This is Mangifera Kasturi from South Kalimantan. Well, all the other mangoes here are Mangifera indica. Even if the varieties come from Spain or from South America, this is all Mangifera indica. But this is a different species, Mangifera Kasturi. So in this greenhouse he has sweet maracuja, but he said he fertilized it with cow dung, and somehow the cow dung brought some parasite that made the roots of the greenhouse, that made the roots of the maracuja rot, and now they are slowly recovering, but they were suffering a lot, so he learned not to fertilize them with cow manure anymore.
Not red, orange one, maracuja.
Orange maracuja, yes. And this is something different.
This is alata.
This is Passiflora alata, also a very popular passion fruit. Here you see the flower is very different from Edulis. This is Edulis maracuja. Here we have alata, and here we already have some really good size fruits. Alata is not that sour, right? I have only very rarely had the opportunity to eat alata, and now I'm also too early for basically everything. But last week at least we managed to find the ripe papaya and the ripe egg fruit. So here Fazio also said because of the because the culture of all those the subtropical fruits is not established so far north, like there is also a lot of difference in the seasons where those things ripen. Like in the greenhouse, they will ripen a little bit earlier. Here in the protected area, a little bit later. In the open, still later. But usually much later than in tropical or subtropical areas, or even in southern Spain or southern Sicily. Correct?
Correct. You can show I pollinate this one. I make a cross pollination now. If you want to film.
Yes. Right now I'm filming.
Right now.
So he is cross-pollinating, like alata with what? What is the other one?
Giant granadilla.
Giant granadilla. So giant granadilla should be quadrangularis, right?
Yeah.
So he is right now cross-pollinating alata with quadrangularis. I really need to learn this because when I come back to Heidelberg, I want to pollinate some of the passion flowers in the botanical garden. Do you cross-pollinate now for seeds or for the edible fruits to develop? Like
The edible fruits.
for the edible fruits. So right now you are not developing a new variety, but those are for eating. So now he's taking the quadrangularis pollen and bringing it back to alata. Alata, by the way, comes from the wings on the stem, and quadrangularis, the stem, is also similarly winged, has 4 angles. 2 quite similar species. He's putting the pollen from the stamens to the stigmata. The stamens and the stigmata are close together in the flower. Here you can see the stamens are the 5 things underneath, the stigmata are the 3 things on top, but self-pollination is not really working with most passion fruits, so you need something closely enough related, but not the same for pollination. Oh, and by the way, I see back there the yellow maracuja is really big. Also hand-pollinated?
Yes.
With what?
Everywhere. This one.
Ah, with anything. So quadrangularis or alata seem to be quite good for pollinating edulis. Here you can see again the Conca d'Africa, the foothills of the Alps, protecting it from the north and reflecting the sunlight. The sea, creating a moist environment where the summers are quite cool. Right now we are in July and it's 25 degrees and the winters are quite mild. And his plot is a microcosmos of this. Is basically the same. He has the concrete walls in the back reflecting the sunlight and the hill protecting from the northern winds. He has the sea here right underneath, and he has also the greenhouses more or less well preserved. I asked him, would he be able to cultivate the same fruits down there in the flat ground? He said he doesn't know. That's the only piece of land he has here. That's the only piece of land he is cultivating them. He does not have any experience with the flat areas over there. My guess is that some of the things would work, but some of the things which work quite well here might struggle down there, because here the microclimate, the really punctual microclimate is basically reinforcing the local microclimate of the Conca d'Africa, which is a reinforcement again of the regional microclimate here of the 100-kilometer stretch between Imperia and Nice, which is again a reinforcement of the whole regional climate of the Riviera and Côte d'Azur, basically mountains in the north, sea in the south, and that's why you can have a basically frost-free climate at the same geographical latitude. I have to say it again and again, as southern Canada.
You have the pineapple pleasure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just be careful of the iron.
Yes. Thank you. Pineapple pleasure mango. A really big, well-developed tree. Look at that. So many fruits. But we have to be careful not to beat a single one down, because so far north, every mango is a treasure. Literally, like he said, how many important people have been here. Even the Prince of Monaco wrote him about his mangoes and asked him for a basket of mangoes. So, important people around here, they know what's good.
How many fruits?
So here, this is Fazio's own hybrid between quadrangularis and alata, and look how successful it is. So many fruits, all with hand pollination.
All
of the.
hand pollination.
So this plant has well over 100 fruits. Wow, that's gonna be so super tasty. Yeah, what's with this fruit here? Not looking so good.
No. This one maybe it go underground.
It will drop.
Yeah.
Pity. But still, look at that. So successful. So many So many wonderful fruits here. And beautiful flowers and foliage too, don't forget that. But of course the fruits are the main treat, literally. Yeah, and those are gonna grow. Those are gonna get bigger. How big does this hybrid get?
Like so.
So like the biggest ones, they already finished growing and they...
Here the normal size, this one.
Okay, so about the size of a human fist. So the biggest one already finished growing, it will start ripening, but the small ones will grow to the same size. Delicious. Here is his papaya. We tried it and it's delicious. It's also beautiful, like a really nice orange color. And yeah, what months does the papaya produce here?
Almost every year.
All year round, 12 months.
Almost every year and almost all the year.
Ah,
Yes,
good.
because it's 9 months to get ripe papaya. 9 months.
Oh, that's very long here.
Yes.
Yeah.
From this one, now we are in July. I can eat this in April next year.
Okay, so they do develop throughout the winter. That's really good. I mean, yeah, here we are in a greenhouse, but you can see that like a lot of the windows are missing. Yeah. So is it really a greenhouse or is it a very sheltered outdoorsy area? A lot of the windows are missing and still he manages to have papayas almost every year and almost all year round. And yeah, I can tell you that the quality is really superior. Here he has something nice and tasty.
Chico sapote.
The Chico sapote. This thing not only has very tasty edible fruits, but the sap from the branches was used by the Central American Indians as a chewing gum for thousands of years. Here the flower, also with hand pollination here?
It's better.
It's better, okay. I think we saw one fruit last week.
Yes, we have 2 fruits here.
And is this normal or do you have more in good...
But they are already ripened and I cut already the fruit.
Ah, you cut them already. What month does the Chico sapote ripen here?
Depends when it's flowering. Because the flowering season is not every year the same one.
Ah, okay.
So in this moment it's flowering, you see?
Yes, yes. Now it's flowering a lot and just two more fruits left.
Yeah,
2 late fruits. Beautiful. I like this fruit a lot, but unfortunately in Southeast Asia they often pick them so unripe and when you eat them they taste like nothing. Otherwise this fruit tastes like caramel or something like this. It's incredibly sweet, a wonderful fruit. Even if you pick it half ripe it will be great, but unfortunately a lot of them pick them completely unripe, so yeah, well, you can say that about every fruit, but with the Chico sapote I've had very bad experiences. So here another small Irvine mango with a decent number of fruits.
Yes. This year, not a lot of fruit. This is really full. This is Glen.
Glen, okay. Normally it has a lot more.
Normally, this is the normal production of the Glen mango.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
And
see the new leaves also. And this fruit will be ripened in the end of July.
oh,
The first one.
oh, very, very soon.
Yes.
I would have thought that they need a lot longer because they are still so green. Wonderful. So you have mangoes. For how many months do you have mangoes here?
From the end of July to November, December.
Oh, wonderful. And you said you had trouble with some cold, strong winds. When was it? In April that destroyed a lot of the young leaves?
The outside ones.
So here those were well enough protected, so no big problem. So look at those beautiful lush young growth. It's normal for mangoes for the young leaves to be reddish. We'll see mangoes outside, which, yeah, didn't fare that well this spring. Yeah, smells like mango.
This one is not.
Yes,
not ready. Yeah.
it's too early, but even to smell them here is amazing. Which one is this?
This is without any flower this year. This is the Malika.
Ah, this is Malika from India again?
India, yes.
But in other
I
years?
have another one in the other greenhouse with fruits.
Ah, nice. So
Yes, you can see it.
this one no flowers, but the other one
This
is
year,
doing.
but a lot of new leaves. You see?
Mm-hmm.
New ones.
Oh well, so at least it's growing. That's something.
This
Next,
is a very big mango.
the fruit.
The fruit is about 800 grams and 1 kilo.
You need quite a strong tree to bear such
Yes,
big
you see
fruits.
there is
Yeah, the support.
four, yes.
And again, all those terracotta things here, remember this was originally an orchid greenhouse. And it just has been converted, basically saved from complete degradation and converted into a tropical fruit tree greenhouse. But there is still the whole infrastructure for flower cultivation. The whole infrastructure that basically a lot of it his father developed when he developed the orchid cultivation in greenhouses and in pots here in this climate. Remember, those are tropical orchids, and here they have been bred at the same geographical latitude as southern Canada. So his father was a great pioneer. That's why he got visits from the president and got medals and stuff for his contribution to the development of the nation's agri and floriculture.
This is the hybrid. I did this one. Always by giant granadilla and alata.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is very strange because the fruits are almost 1 kilo.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a little ones, not a lot of these fruits. They are wonderful.
So the size is almost like giant grenadier, but
It's more.
bigger than what giant grenadier can get here.
You can see the color of the leaves.
Mm-hmm.
They are really adapted very well on this soil, and this is very difficult for granadilla.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. And you say 1 kilogram, so they will get bigger, a lot bigger.
Yes.
Wonderful. Pity it has so few fruits, especially if the taste is also great. Quite an old plant. Here you can see the stem. It's about as thick as my arm. Big plant stretching everywhere. Oh, already the next egg fruit. This one fell to the ground. Yeah, here canistel. He is successfully producing canistel, a fruit from Central America, and here it grows at the same geographical latitude as southern Canada. Yes, in a greenhouse, but without heating and without any additional frost protection. Great fruit. It's called egg fruit because it tastes basically like the yolk of a hard-boiled egg. It also looks inside like the yolk. See? Oh, grazie mille. This one looks like egg yolk. It's already a little bit past the egg yolk stage. Now it tastes like sweet egg yolk. If it hadn't fallen to the ground, if it had ripened properly at the end, it would taste like a very good baked sweet pumpkin. Now it's in between the egg yolk and sweet pumpkin stage. And he has a lot more. Look at that. The trees.
This is the end of the production.
So you had a lot more.
Yeah, a lot more, yes.
Oh, so he had a lot more, and those are the last ones. Yeah, I already see the young flowers everywhere. Time for the new generation. It's one of my favorite fruit. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. This was the lucuma.
Yes.
So lucuma is another egg fruit. Me and most other people think it's not that good when eaten raw, but it is great in ice creams, puddings, desserts, milkshakes, smoothies and such things. It really excels. I also didn't like it very much out of hand, but when somebody made me a milkshake with this one, it was delicious. So the canistel, better to eat fresh. The lucuma, according to most people, better eat in some sweet desserts.
See a lot of flour.
You get a lot of fruits?
I think this year 200 fruits.
That's amazing. Here he has Lulo or Quito orange, Solanum quitoense. It's not an orange. It's called orange because, well, it looks orange, but it's a relative of the eggplant. Four nice ripe fruits, but also a lot of other young ones. How many months does this one produce?
The tree is 1 year old, and the fruits began ripening in 5 months.
5 months ago. Yes. So in January, February you had the first ripe fruits.
Yes.
So there is a chance that this thing can produce here all year round. Maybe. But you still don't have a long year experience with it.
Because it takes a lot of sickness. The little spider, the red spider. Always
Yeah.
red spiders.
The aphids.
But it's biological. I cannot use products to fight, so I must give a lot of water on the leaves to clean.
Wash them away, yes.
See, this is attack of this red spider.
Pity. Well, yes, biological production is usually a lot more labor intensive than conventional production with a lot of chemicals, but the quality of the fruits is of course superior. So Fazio said this year the Giant Grenadier hybrid, right?
Yes.
Had very few flowers, but it will flower again in September. And then the fruits ripen in winter?
Yes.
Oh, and they are ripe?
January, February.
Wow. So basically so many of those things can produce here in the winter months. I know that for tropical plants, even for mangoes, even in the Canary Islands, the winter is a really harsh time. Winter there means plus 15 degrees is the coldest temperature. But here he manages for a quadrangularis alata hybrid to continue producing throughout the winter. He also asked me, since I've eaten the canistel in many different places, like in many parts of Southeast Asia, on the Canary Islands, in southern Spain, and I'm not sure, no, I haven't eaten it in Central America. If the quality of his canistel is good, and I must say, yes, it is good. I've eaten a lot of good ones, and his tastes like the good ones, and I've eaten a couple bad ones, and his definitely does not taste like the bad ones. So, of course, it's important not just to produce any fruits, but to produce fruits of a good taste, of it at least acceptable taste, and if it's good or superior, the better. But it seems he says that a lot of his fruits here are of superior taste, and whatever I've tasted so far, there is only the papaya and the canistel ripe at this time of the year. I'm here at almost the worst time of the year. Whatever I tasted is really tasty. That's very important because tropical and subtropical fruits, even if you can produce the necessary temperature to save them from freezing, it doesn't mean that you produce enough, that you can get enough sunlight and all the other conditions for the fruits to develop into nice and super tasty fruits. But I think here, with some of the fruits, especially with the mangoes, the Mediterranean climate is helping. I have more experience with the Spanish mangoes in Andalusia. There they get the Mediterranean sun and they're often sweeter than tropical mangoes. So I think here the same thing, the Mediterranean summer sun helps a lot to get superior fruits. Here he has a miracle berry. Those are the little red fruits, which are a little bit sweet, nothing special, but after you eat them, everything tastes sweet for some time. Especially after that, if you eat sour fruits like lemons, the lemons will taste like the sweetest and tastiest mandarin to you. A very important plant, especially if you have a lot of sour fruits. And since most of citrus fruits, for example, are pretty sour, this would be a very important addition to the Mediterranean orchards.
When flowering,
In the canistel?
Yes, in July. The temperature here is about normally 40 degrees. Normally. This year
Inside or outside?
inside. This year, now we are 25, 26
Inside.
inside. Like outside is the same.
So it's
So
kind
flowering
of
is incredible, and fruits will be incredible.
so it's kind of a cool spring and cool summer. Yeah, outside it's like 25 degrees, and he says that inside it's not a big difference, which helps a lot with flowering. So imagine those problems with the greenhouses. Yeah, in winter they prevent freezing, which here is incredibly rare anyways, but in summer they can be too hot sometimes. So the same with the Chico Zapote, it's from the same family. Is that the reason why it's flowering nicely?
I show to you a particular thing. Without these insects, coccinilla.
Yes.
They try to eat, and
Yeah.
they dead.
Why?
Because they don't like this tree.
They
so
don't-
They don't know this tree. They try to eat. You see. And they dead without anything.
So the Chico Zapote manages to kill them.
Yes.
It doesn't seem to have the right chemistry to feed them. Here, look again, his first hybrid. I didn't see this part. They're basically more fruits than leaves. Incredible. Why am I not here in September? Because this is a small farm, I would completely eat through this farm. Some people have led me into much bigger farms and told me I can eat their fruits. Many have regretted it. So Fazio says this wonderful mango had only 3 fruits last year, and he think it's because of the drought. Look, now it has maybe up to 100 fruits. I mean, of course he did water them, but he says the air was very dry. No rain in January, February, March, April, that's the rainy season. No rain, no air humidity, so the mango didn't produce a lot of fruits. This year with a more humid winter and spring, more normal winter and spring, and not so hot summer, it seems like the production is really increasing. I mean, in the subtropics there are often not very strongly pronounced seasons, and in the tropics the seasons are even less pronounced. So yeah, if the minimal temperature in some tropical area is 25 degrees, yeah, but the maximum temperature is maybe 31 degrees. Well, here in the in many Mediterranean tourist areas, you can have minimal temperatures of like -7 degrees, but maximum temperatures of over 40 degrees. Yes. Those 40 degrees can be just as damaging to some tropical plants as the negative degrees, especially if they are accompanied by this crazy Mediterranean summer drought of over 6 months. Here, Fazio is not only producing a lot of tropical fruits, he is also learning how to, developing all this experience, how to produce things at this geographical latitude, outdoors and indoors and half outdoors. Those are all this is all an experience which doesn't exist that far north, because only in the last couple decades has this production of those things even started around here. This experience is now even being developed in southern Sicily or southern Spain, but those are 700-800 kilometers further south, many geographical degrees further south. He is now developing all this experience which just doesn't exist how do tropical trees react to not only to the winter cold, also to the summer heat, to the drought. He also mentioned the big problem here is that every year is different. There is no consistency, so the trees have to adapt to a different situation every year, and he has to learn how to cultivate them and how to help them with all those problems they have never experienced before at such a northern geographical latitude. What about the light? Do they get enough light in winter? Enough sun?
This one was 2 years without to grow a leaf.
Uh-huh.
Like so.
Stayed like this for 2 years.
2 years. After that, it has flooded.
Now it's amazing. Well, maybe it adapted to the local conditions for 2 years, and when it learned how to grow, then it started.
No any sickness, no any problem.
Yeah, it's a perfect tree. Why are most of the fruits on the lower branches, not so many fruits on the higher branches?
I think because the water is better for the tree to get from the ground, of course, and it's difficult to arrive on the top.
The moisture in the air.
Yes, I think.
So the air at the top,
Yes.
yeah, right underneath the hot glass panels will be a lot drier than the moisture down here where he is watering. See, all those little experiences which you have to learn by yourself and which are different in every different climate and region of the world. He's now developing all this knowledge for northern Italy, for Liguria. So I have never seen this particular greenhouse. So this is Malika. This one is producing. And producing in bunches of 2 and 3. And he says those are really big mangoes, up to 1 kilogram. Amazing for such a small tree. Here he has a rose apple. This fruit, this is an equatorial fruit from Malaysia. And here it's growing at the same geographical latitude as southern Canada. I've even seen plants much smaller than this one growing outdoors in some very sheltered locations. Very tasty fruits. It's a myrtaceae, a relative of myrtle and eucalyptus, but the fruits are incredibly tasty. They taste of roses. You said that you had one harvest in May here of Melarosa.
You see a tree outdoor.
No, the girl told me that you told her in May, I think, you had ripe ones.
No, I have the ripe one in the end of July. You see the fruits in the end of July. They are ripe.
In the end of July.
End of July.
Oh,
See, now
nice.
the size, they became like so.
Then maybe I understood something wrong. So here they ripen at the end of July in the greenhouse. I've seen them ripen in the parks in September. That's consistent with what he told me last time I visited him, that the same things will ripen in the greenhouse about 2 months earlier than they will ripen in his outdoors plots, which we are going to see in a moment.
This is again giant granadilla.
Wow, I love the flowers,
Yeah.
but I love the fruits even more, the giant tasty fruits.
You see fruits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are gonna grow a lot more, right?
Yes.
Oh, here he has star fruit,
Yeah.
carambola.
Ambola. Yes. Flowering in August.
Beautiful tree. I've seen a couple small, not very well developed ones outdoors here, but this one does a lot better here inside the greenhouse. Lots of fruits or not?
A lot.
A lot.
Really a lot.
That's one fruit. If it arrives to the...
It's the sweet variety.
Good. If this arrives to German supermarkets, usually in very bad quality.
No, this is very good.
Yeah, but it's a very soft fruit and usually picked far too early. But here, since he manages to grow it nearby, it must be of much, much better quality.
This is the white guava.
Nice big tree, flowering like crazy. Actually almost finishing flowering. Lots of tiny fruits everywhere.
Last year, no fruits.
Really?
For the weather, for the climate.
Huh. In Spain, it does quite well with the heat and the drought. So here it doesn't like the hot weather.
If I stay 4 or 5 days without to give water, watering, you see the leaves I saw
Oh.
a few days. Yes. But you see a lot of fruit this year.
Yeah. Hundreds.
Hundreds. Yes.
That's really good. Amazing stuff. And we are still at the indoor stuff. There's a lot of outdoor stuff to come. So many beautiful flowers. And this fruit, not so good. This is a mango.
Yes, but
Huh.
you see, no,
Such a pity. Every time I see one of those. Grazie mille. Let's see. This looks almost edible, but
not good. No.
yeah, edible, but really sour. I mean, you could put it in a curry or a chutney, but eating it out of
eating
hand,
like so is not possible. Yeah.
no,
You
eating
see,
it.
these ones are from Maya variety.
Maya.
This is Maya variety. Yes.
I have no experience with this variety.
It's wonderful. They are very big. This one fallen down on the soil.
But you have some which remained on the tree?
Okay. This one is quiet, not production.
Oh.
This year, you see,
Pity.
a lot of leaves, but no flower.
Not a single flower this year.
And this
What a
one-
pity.
This one flowered in January, in 2022. Flowered in January.
And fruits?
And fruit in May.
Amazing. So
Maybe
early.
A lot of fruit flowering in January. 2 years ago.
2 years ago, a lot of fruits flowered in January, and you had ripe, giant, tasty mangoes in May. Amazing. This goes contrary to everything I know about mango cultivation in Europe. Mangoes, well, I've seen mangoes ripening this time in southern Portugal, but officially, they're actually supposed to ripen throughout the summer here. See, he's learning and developing and experiencing new things which in other mango growing areas haven't happened or haven't happened a lot in the same way. Here another Maya with fruits, 2 of them here, 2 of them here. Nice young leaves, and look at the amount of fruits here. Everything is loaded on that branch. Glen mango, also loaded. Yeah, shedding a lot of fruits, that's sad, but I guess the branch is already hanging down to the ground. Maybe it's a little bit too much right now. So, the Germans say whoever sits in a glass house shouldn't throw rocks. The Germans didn't say anything about mangoes. Yeah, all those shredded fruit, of course, should get out of the greenhouse because otherwise they might harbor pests and diseases. Oh, this one is already smelling quite nicely.
Yes, but it's not good to eat.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
No.
Tastes sour, but I've had worse mangoes sold on the market, so yeah, it's not good, but yeah, the smell was a really wonderful mango smell. Here we are coming to maybe the most amazing part of Mr. Fazio's plot. Look at the size of those Cherimoyas. He has a tiny Cherimoya plantation here on the slope without any protection except a particular microclimate. Some of the trees are over 4 meters tall and they are flowering right now. in July. So you will start hand pollination soon. You have to hand pollinate. Now I can smell the flowers. Last week I could not. Nauseating, fruity smell. Yeah. With Cherimoyas you have to hand pollinate them, otherwise if you leave it to nature you'll end up with small fruits. I've seen such plantations in the Canary Islands and also on the Costa Tropical in southern Spain. But the Cherimoyas there grow only at the best climate close to the sea. Unlike avocados, you can grow avocados 50 kilometers away from the sea. But Cherimoyas and mangoes cling to the sea, just grow up to a couple kilometers inland, usually with direct view on the sea. But here at the same geographical latitude as southern Canada, oh, this flower already went. At the same geographical latitude as southern Canada, he is managing to produce Cherimoyas, yeah, without any plastic, without any artificial heating, without anything, just on the slope. Look at that, so many flowers, and the smell is incredible. It's not a flowery smell, it's a fruity smell. And I don't know if I've ever really smelled it, because I've never been in those Cherimoya producing areas in summer. Yeah, here the thing is, of course, when it gets more steep, more dry, more poor soil, the size of the trees diminishes, and also of course the production. And if you look, here is one, and behind it is a really tiny one. He says whatever he does, no matter how much fertilizer or water he throws on them, they just don't grow. Well, because all the moisture, all the nutrients, they come down here where it's a little bit more flat, a little bit deeper and better soil. And the deeper and better soil gulps up all the water and all the nutrients meant for the upper terraces.
The size of the leaves of last year.
One of the big leaves of last year, because I also see much smaller here.
Okay, now you see the leaves of this year.
A year with drought compared to a year with normal rainfall. You just cannot water enough to compensate for all of the rainfall. Look at that. The surface of the leaf is like 10 times bigger now than last year. Last year they just produced leaves. Cherimoyas are semi-deciduous, so you still see a lot of the old leaves, but a lot of the old leaves are also on the ground. Yes. I think last year they just produced enough leaves to stay alive. This year they produce a lot of lush young foliage. They want to produce a lot of tasty fruits. What month are they ripe here?
October.
Oh, so early. Yeah. Flowering now, ripe in October. Amazing. Yeah. So not really later than on the Costa Tropical in southern Spain. The amount of flowers is incredible. Of course, the tree cannot feed so many fruits if you really want big, high quality fruits. But look at that. Look at that. That's amazing. At the same geographical latitude as southern Canada, folks, a Cherimoya plantation outdoors without any artificial protection or heat or anything. Here you see the most exposed Cherimoya trees. Those two are really struggling. And this over there, really tiny. You had one more tree here or one more tree up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the ones in the most exposed places, they just died. And those are the same age as the big trees. Here, well over 4 meters, producing like crazy. Here, oh, struggling to even survive. And here on the most exposed spots, some have even died. A lucuma tree, growing, flowering and thriving outdoors without any winter protection in the foothills of the Alps at the same geographical latitude as southern Canada. Here we must be over 43 degrees north. I think, yeah, we are definitely more than 43 degrees north. The southernmost of Canada is 41 point something. It's almost 2 degrees further south. Look how it's flowering. How many fruits do you get from this one?
100 fruits.
100 fruits.
This is the last remaining on the tree.
So this is the last from the from last year.
Yes. 1 year to make ripe fruits.
Ah, so when were they ripe here? The other ones?
These ones?
Yeah.
In June, July next year.
So you had 100 fruits 1 month ago.
Yes.
Now you have 1,000 flowers and maybe
1,000 of flowers. You see.
next June you will have at least 100 new fruits without any winter protection except for the wall and the hill on one side and the sea on the other side. So here he has a chico sapote outside.
Yes.
And how well is this one doing?
For the moment, only to survive.
So for the moment it's just surviving. It doesn't look as good as the one indoors, but if it establishes itself in a couple years, maybe it will start producing. Wonderful. Here he has here he has a couple avocados. Avocados are quite frost hardy, so not too special here in this climate. I think their main problem here is dry and exposed.
The problem is this.
Ah, the soil.
The soil is not good for the us variety.
Ah, so this is Hass and the soil is not good for it. No. What is this one?
Bacon.
Ah, so bacon seems to be doing better. Ah, yes, with mangoes, with avocados, you have to know where to plant them. Like in Tenerife and the other Canary Islands where they plant Hass in the south and Fuerte in the north because of the different conditions. Oh, this is Limau Purut. Citrus hystrix.
See?
This is the, well, here we know it as a Thai lime, but actually it's from Malaysia.
Yes.
The Thais have adapted it, but the Thais use almost exclusively the leaves. The Malayu people on the market, you will see the leaves and the fruits. The unripe fruits, the ripe fruits, and bundles of leaves. Incredibly aromatic. And the leaves are also aromatic. Now I don't have any hand to rub the leaves, but grazie mille. Ah, the fruit is more aromatic. Now I don't smell the leaf because the fruit is yeah, now I can smell it. It's a little bit different.
Yes.
Yeah. Another fruit from equatorial, not just tropical but equatorial areas. Malaysia is just 1, 2, 3 degrees northern latitude. Here we are at 43 degrees northern latitude, halfway almost to the poles. Well, to the North Pole, not to the South Pole. So this greenhouse has lost all its roof. The walls might serve as a slight wind break, but he said actually they were not enough. This April they were pretty cold temperatures, pretty cold, around 10 degrees, but combined with a very strong wind from the east, from over here. You see no protection from there. There is protection from the north. Here there is even a protection from the, kind of a protection from the west, where a lot of the rain clouds come from. You can see it here, rain clouds from the west. From the east, usually coldish, dryish winds are coming. And this cold, very strong wind in April destroyed the young leaves of many mangoes and destroyed the young flowers of many mangoes. So now they are bringing out the new growth. Here again, rose apple and several mangoes. And I think when we go down, Kensington Pride, the first one.
Yes, all Kensington Pride, and these ones are from Canary Island, Gomera tree.
Ah, so
1, 2, 3, 4.
All those are Kensington Pride, and here 4 Gomera tree from Canary Islands. Gomera is a very, very hardy, very frost hardy, drought hardy, very undemanding variety from the Canary Islands. Gomera 1 is like the old one, which is only used as a rootstock, but out of this very hardy rootstock they developed a tasty and commercially viable Gomera tree. Great mango. However, in the Canary Islands I was never sure if they were really giving me Gomera trees, so I'm not even exactly sure what it tastes like. Here a couple Barbary figs, a popular fruit shrub throughout the Mediterranean. And here we are in the greenhouse we saw from above. So those are Gomera tree.
The new leaves, very beautiful.
Yes.
These, they were when there was the wind. The column, you see the difference?
So here those were already out in April. The wind hit them.
Yes.
Cold and very strong wind. And yeah, those are the new ones which look a lot better. Fazio also said real frost is very rare here. The last time, I think 6 years ago, 2018, there was like what, 1 degree of frost?
-1.
-1, -2.
Yes.
So that
With snow.
with snow.
With snow.
Okay, good. Snow. Well, snow
But
can
they survived. Oh.
Snow can cool down the leaves. It can also sometimes save them, but those, they are not used to snow. So, yeah, basically outdoors mangoes with protection, with walls on all sides, but no roof.
No roof.
And look at that, they're producing like crazy. Gomera tree in big bunches, hundreds of fruits. How many fruits will survive from every bunch?
About 6, 7.
6, 7 per bunch. That's
yes,
very good.
yes.
But yeah, that's typical for Gomera. They grow in big bunches.
Yes.
The fruits don't grow very big, but they grow in big clusters.
Very sweet.
Gomera is good
Rose
stuff.
apple, flowering.
So the outdoors rose apple is flowering a little bit later than the indoors one. And the fruits will be ripe later. Wonderful. The flowers are, of course, very beautiful myrtaceae flowers. And the fruit is amazing. It's not even really like a fruit. It's like a cookie infused with rose water, with sweet rose water. It's amazing. It's a fruit that should be a lot more popular than it is in Western countries. New flowers. Will those produce fruits or?
Yes. Gomera tree has the characteristic of flowering 2-3 times in the year.
Ah, okay. When will those be ripe?
December.
December. Wow. And you even get fruits which ripen, mangoes which ripen in winter and spring.
This one, I think in August they are ready.
Beautiful.
In August.
Beautiful.
Yes. May I do a video to you doing the video?
Yes,
Oh,
of course.
Wait.
So that's what the leaves were like when this cold wind came in April. Very soft, still not hardened, still not developed their cell walls completely. And yeah, it demolished them a lot. Here you can see a lot of them didn't make it. Here are the Kensington Pride growing without a roof. Yes, they have walls on all sides, but as you see, it didn't help too much against the wind. Here you can see that most of the young growth was destroyed by those April winds. See here all the dried up tips. But still, yeah, they survived and they are producing and they are growing again. It's amazing. So I really hope that Mr. Fazio's knowledge can encourage and help a lot of other people to start cultivating such things here in such, well, Nordic areas, or at least Nordic latitudes, because starting from scratch is very difficult, but when you have someone with a lot of experience share some of the experience with you, it is much different. This is also Kensington Pride, but those fruits are already considerably bigger.
Yes.
So nice. This one, he says, in April was full of flowers, but how many survived? Just a couple. And I guess this flowered again when? In June?
Yes.
So it flowered again because it just didn't have enough fruit surviving the April wind.
Multiplicate the problem.
So 2 more important things Mr. Fazio told me. First, this April wind was not only detrimental for the mangoes, the peaches were flowering at the same time, and it destroyed the complete peach harvest. So it's not just only the tropical fruits have this problem. This wind was so strong that even the temperate fruits couldn't bear it. Also, he said he is not using potassium in autumn as a frost protection. Basically, if you fertilize in autumn with potassium, the cells are better prepared to stand the cold and also to stand dry conditions. I know other growers of subtropical fruits here who fertilize in autumn with potassium. He says he has never done it. This is also very important. Those things survived here without the added protection of potassium fertilization in autumn. Here he has a pineapple guava. Yeah, this is one fruit which is quite well established in this area. Very tasty fruits. Fortunately, it's already coming up even in southern Germany. Good fruit. I'm really happy. I'm happy about every new fruit that gets established close to me, as long as it's nice and tasty. Here a couple of Opuntia ficus indica or Barbary figs, a cactus from Mexico and Central America. It is a popular fruit shrub nowadays all over the Mediterranean and Mediterranean climates. Very popular but also very invasive. And this is the white sapote, Casimiroa edulis. It's not even closely related to the other sapotes, it's in the citrus family. And look at it, the branches are bent down like crazy. And the fruits are still small. The fruits will grow a lot bigger. Will you have to remove a couple fruits?
I don't remove.
You don't remove?
I don't remove.
And they don't break?
Yes, they break sometimes, and remain only the stronger.
So this fruit here, is it the final size of this variety?
Yes, this is the final size.
About as big as a big chicken sack.
Yeah.
Imagine if all those get as big as chicken sacks. They will pop off the branch just because they don't have space. I've seen a couple white sapotes around here, but never with fruits like this. You give it a lot of water and fertilizer, or how does it work?
A lot of water, especially in this period.
A lot of water.
Yes.
This is more frost hardy. This could theoretically be grown over most of the Mediterranean, but it's strange that just one region of Italy, one part of Liguria, is the only place in the Mediterranean where this is really popular. It's being grown on a small scale on the Costa Tropical and probably also some other areas. But this is one great fruit. Taste-wise, it has nothing to do with citrus. It's just related to citrus. But it basically tastes like vanilla pudding. I don't know why this is not more popular throughout the Mediterranean. Maybe because the old varieties are a bit bitter. Nowadays they are sweet, modern varieties, really, really high quality. This thing should be on every Mediterranean market and in most Mediterranean gardens. Amazing fruit. I'm so glad to see it here. And here again, the beautiful area of the Conca d'Africa, protected from the north by the Alps, from the south by the Mediterranean, where you are able to grow tropical and even equatorial fruits on the same geographical latitude as southern Canada. So Fazio says that this tree here, this over 2 meter tall tree with many hundreds of fruits, is the same age as this tree which grows just 5-6 meters away. And he thinks it has to do with the soil. Here, see, there is almost no grass. No, he didn't cut any grass here in spring. There is almost no grass. Well, this is like the tip of a small promontory. So here there will be the poorest soil and the area where nutrients and water disappear the fastest. But still, I mean, look at that. Here is this tree. Here is this tree, just 5-6 meters away. And he had exactly the same issue over such a short distance with his Cherimoyas. The ones you can see here behind the water tank, over 4 meters tall, and the ones growing behind the water tank, which you cannot see, barely a meter tall or even completely dying. Incredible. And what is this? This one here between the water tanks looks like a mango, but which one?
Diospyros niger.
Oh, okay, not a mango. This is the black sapote, which is also not closely related to the white sapote or to all the other sapotes, including the chico sapote. This one is in the Ibenaceae. So this one is related to kaki. This one is related to citrus and the chico sapote we saw back there. is related to other zapotes. Two completely different families, but zapote in Nahuatl basically means, Nahuatl is like the old language of the Aztec Empire, basically just means big, soft fruit. That's why white zapote and chico zapote and big zapote and black zapote are from totally different families, but with similar names. And look at that, the limoncillo, Melicoccus pijugatus. This has nothing to do with citruses. It's not closely related to citrus, but its sour citrusy flavor has given it the name limoncillo. This is another Latin American subtropical to tropical fruit. Still very small, but it's growing. Let's see, maybe in 5 or 10 years he will have baskets full of the tasty little fruits. The fruit is edible and the seed inside the fruit is also edible. So those two Kensingtons growing here outdoors now without the walls of the greenhouse. First we had some growing in the greenhouse with holes, then in the greenhouse without the roof, but with walls. Here we have some, and no, the oven is not for heating the mangoes. Here we have some growing completely unprotected on the slope, Kensington Pride. He said they survived the wind, they survived the frost, they survived the snow, everything. And now, see, they're producing little fruits. Outdoors, without protection, without even old walls around them, at the same geographical latitude as southern Canada. Here, a Cherimoya from a flower that came out of season, small, so because it was not hand pollinated, then it fell on the ground and I think one of us stepped on it. So now it's never gonna ripen properly. And the ants already enjoy it, but I am greedy and I want it for myself. Already has some sweetness, yeah? Tastes exactly like an unripe Cherimoya. It's not very good, but it's still better than no Cherimoya. And here a couple more mangoes, a normal guava, and look at that thing up there. A beautiful longan tree. Oh, growing quite big, well over 4 meters. I think a smaller person could already climb it. I'm too heavy. Flowering nicely. And you can already see a couple teeny tiny longans on it. This is a good fruit. A good Southeast Asian fruit. Those are this species, Democarpus longan, is basically, this one is the Thai longan. I forgot the exact variety. Doing quite well here. This one, is it the same variety?
This is from seed, by seed.
Ah, this is from seed, and this?
This is, I don't remember the name of the variety.
Okay, but this is like a nursery plant and this is from seed. And how is the difference in the fruits?
This is the first year flowering.
Ah, so
I don't know.
So you don't know the fruits of this one, but this one must be good.
Yes, they are good. But the problem, this one like water every day.
Yeah. Southeast Asia, most areas get a lot of water.
Yes.
But Thailand has some quite dry periods. But yeah, a lot of water. Your water tanks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Without those things, you cannot do successful agriculture around here. Well, except if you want to grow cacti and olives, they don't need water. But amazing. Folks, Mr. Fazio's plantation here is something incredible. Something I have only seen as far north so far as southern Spain, as the Costa Tropical, but as he just pointed out, Costa Tropical is at around 33 degrees northern latitude. Here we are at over 43. Just to better understand everything, the Earth is divided by 90 parallels from the equator to the North Pole. So the equator is 0, the North Pole is 90. And here we are almost halfway to the North Pole. And we are still growing, he's still growing trees like rose apples, mangoes, and longans that come from areas very close to the equator, very close to zero. So here we are halfway to the pole, halfway to the eternal ice, and he is managing to grow things that come all the way from down at the equator. I'm so glad and I'm so honored to be able to see this. Thanks so much to Mr. Fazio for creating this wonderful plantation and allowing us to come here. Also thanks to my assistant, also thanks to my wonderful assistant Rebecca, who organized the first and also the second visit. She didn't participate in the second visit because she had to go back to work. But without those two people, this video wouldn't have been possible. So folks, this is the guy who is growing tropical things at the same geographical latitude of southern Canada. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful and incredibly fruit-rich Italian Riviera.